Welcome to the Whiskey Tribe. Today, we shall sample many whiskies, and Daniel shall partake of my oog-doll. Daniel.
Yes?
Is your mouth watering at the prospect of my oog-doll?
I'm titillated.
Are you titillated by my oog-doll, Daniel? We haven't had anything
I know, not yet.
Today, this is what we did. We asked the Magnificent Bastards whiskey goals.
You don't want to work out.
It's your whiskey resolution.
You know.
So your bucket list whiskeys, your whiskey resolutions, your whiskey goals for 2020. We ask a community of whiskey lovers, what are you trying to get your hands on in the coming year? Usually, whenever we do, go through several different whiskeys that people have crowdsourced the list,
right?
We have those in front of us.
Right.
Because the very nature of the list is hard to get.
Hard to get. We only had 5 of the top 10. I was pretty excited to see what made it to the top.
So we're going to go through from 10 to 1, and we have about half of them here, and the ones that we don't have, we're going to give a little bit of background, and I think some of the ones we don't have is because we finished.
Yeah.
But what's number 10?
Number 10
on
is
the list?
the Booker's 30th anniversary release.
Okay. Bookers. We don't have the Bookers. So number 10 we don't even have. What kind of janky ass episode is this?
We don't have that one.
We feel your pain.
Yeah, on that one.
We know this going in. If it's like whiskeys that are on a bucket list, we're not going to have them all.
Yeah, but and here's the thing. You'll find a Booker's. Right. But which batch it is, you're just going to have to just take what you can get. It seems easier to find Kathleen's batch right now. For some reason, every time I go to the store, I see another Booker's. I look to see what it is, and it's always Kathleen's.
So in Central Texas, we got the Kathleen's batch a lot.
Yeah, we did. But the 30th anniversary, not so much.
So between the Basil Hayden, the Bookers, and the Bakers...
I think Booker's is my top tier of that whole lineup.
I'm a
Baker's is second.
I'm a Baker's guy.
Baker's then Booker's?
I'm Baker's and Bookers.
On the other way
You're
around.
Bookers and Bakers.
We're going to...
Number 9?
Ease our pain.
Yes.
With some Angel's Envy Cask Strength.
I can do this.
Ringing in at number 9.
I didn't even realize we had
interestingly enough, this is all we have left. Yeah.
Okay, so Angel's Envy. This is a bourbon, fairly unique on the palate, on the profile, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's port wine finished. So remember, it's a bourbon finished in port wine.
Oh, man.
And cask strength, which for these guys, by the way, this was batch number C4.
Right.
And this is ringing in at 127, 63.95%.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got, there's this...
it's very plum heavy.
Rich, candied fruitiness. Presenting with that quintessential bourbon cherry.
Almost becomes chocolate.
Almost.
Because that's so dark fruit mixed, but the wood is strong too.
Yeah. No, and Angel's Envy, this is very often hitting bourbon lists.
Oh, take a sip of that. It's so grain astringent and peppery that the sweetness takes a back seat to the drama.
My God.
Right?
That is as potent and saturated as like a cough syrup.
Yeah. It's dense.
Yeah.
It's got density.
It's like a cherry Robitussin level of concentrated flavor.
It's still going. Wow. It's now the aftertaste is all sweetness.
That medicinal candy.
And I've been standing here waiting while you tried it.
Right.
I'm still tasting it like I just sipped it.
Let's see how long it takes us to taste it.
It's still there. Yeah. Now it's still there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get some water.
That's cheating.
I'm not going to drink it yet. It's still there for me.
Barely for me.
I mean, it's a hint.
Barely for me.
I'm going to add just a little dash of water real quick.
Okay.
Oh, whoa. Whoa, a little water changed that dramatically. It turned into almost like a sherry cask. Like it's in Scotch territory now.
That is, a lot of times you'll get whiskeys that get high in the proof, but the flavors can't keep up with the alcohol, and it's just kind of burny.
It's not one of them.
No, these flavors are toe-to-toe with that level of a super high ABV.
We have number 8.
Number 8? What is
number 8? Ardbeg Dark Cove. It's this cult of Ardbeg has made their appearance.
Oh, vanilla caramel earthy nose. Man.
Yeah, there's a really fresh
seaside.
Like when you've just scrubbed out almost a mint light, it attacks the nose, but it's bright and shiny and medicinal.
Okay.
But I mean, it's in addition to the dense Ardbeg earth sweet sugar.
And then there's the salt in there. So this is Islay whiskey. These are going to be like your smoky scotches. But on the nose, I'm not getting meatiness.
This is so mild compared to drinking that Angel's Envy.
What's the proof?
It's 46.5. But the thing is, it's heavy smoke and heavy density. But compared to what we just had, this feels like a light, refreshing, like a summer drink. It's not. You start with this
Smoky Scotch summer drink.
It's hefty.
Yeah, it is.
It's got weight.
Medicinal is the word. The smoke, I think, gives up. It seeds some ground to that medicinal, almost a rubber note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a polish. Like shoe polish.
So, in terms of availability, is this one of the ones that's kind of going to be harder, the Dark Cove?
Yeah, it's harder, but it's not as hard as
impossible.
30th anniversary Booker's. It might be about equal to Angel's Envy cask strength. We have number 7.
We have number 7.
So basically what happened was...
I'm getting a little nervous because we've had 3 in a row.
Ardbeg.
And now I'm wondering how many on this list are we going to have to go through without drinking? I feel your pain.
The Ardbeg team got in control of the poll results because...
the cult.
Because this is also an Ardbeg.
Oh, man. But...
Number 7, Ardbeg Uigeadail, which, by the way, not that hard to get. Comparatively, compared to everything else. If you can get Ardbeg, then they can probably order you the Uigeadail.
Oh, okay. Different on the nose than the Dark Cove we just tried.
Yeah, it's a little thinner for one.
It's less medicinal rubber.
Yeah, it's more like floral and honey.
And I was gonna say a caramel, but I get what you mean. Yeah, it's just sweeter, definitely sweeter and a little bit softer.
Yeah.
And the proof on this was really 54.2%.
Whoa, it's 10% higher than the Dark Cove.
I would not have guessed that on the nose.
Oh, it didn't taste like it either. If you taste it, it's nutty and sweet sherry cask.
My oog-doll's so nutty.
And vanilla.
Daniel, tell me how you like my oog-doll.
I love your oog-doll.
Is it nutty?
It is.
Is it creamy, Daniel? I'm ruining the cult of Ardbeg's glorious placement on the list. Your oog-doll is super good. I like to put it in. John.
That's not a correct tasting note.
Tell me about your oog-doll, John. Oog-doll is delicious. I can confirm. That is some top shelf oog-doll.
So we don't have number 6. You know what number 6 was? Pappy Van Winkle 20-year.
Now this one is often very high up on people's bucket list.
Someday I want to try a Pappy.
Yeah, where does that come from? Why?
It's just a rarity. I think it's the original obsession bourbon.
Okay.
Right? It's the original bourbon that even non-bourbon drinkers know they're supposed to like and look for and prize.
Okay.
Right? Like in Scotch world, it's Macallan.
Sure.
If you want to impress somebody, you get them a fancy Macallan.
Right.
In the bourbon world, if you want to impress non-bourbon people who will still know that you just did something amazing, then it tends to be Pappy.
Now, am I correct in remembering that there was a situation where they had a bunch of whiskey stolen?
Yeah, they had a bunch of the Pappy barrels stolen, and it was actually employees. Which reminds me, who's watching what John's doing back there?
What's the matter what I'm doing?
He's putting on rubber gloves, though.
Well, one handles the oog-doll, as one must.
All right, now, the next one.
Yeah,
you know why we don't have it? Because it's your fault.
I'll describe it to you.
Yeah, feel free. It's the Black Art, which he drank all of with Gene of Tuliev, who did, honestly, donate the Black Art.
And in a word, it was glorious.
Why are you stuck on this voice? I'm going to start giving you my Esther voice.
What is
my old Southern
That's
smoker
not an old
lady.
No, that's not an old lady.
Uh-huh.
That is pervert. That's a pervert. That's not an old lady voice.
No, it's a old smoking Southern lady.
You decide in the comments, what is the voice? Pervert or old lady? Go.
Hey, Rex. How you doing? I hope you like the whiskey we've been drinking. I've been sitting on the front porch of my double wide, putting together my flower portfolio.
This episode's taken a terrible, terrible turn.
Okay, so
how was the Black Art, Rex?
It was a phenomenal Black Art. This was a unicorn Scotch.
Now, Black Art is a special edition from Bruichladdich.
Right.
And there is, I think, in that blend, some peated whiskey, but it's mostly their deep, heavy sherry cask stuff.
We very often will talk about people that get deep into a whiskey scene. They'll go for cask strength. They'll go for complexity, nuance, flourishes with the finish, and then it switches up the profile on the way there.
And you forget subtlety sometimes.
And you do forget subtlety.
Yeah.
And we'll often say, hey, somebody's been around the block, and they've been there, done that with like the most challenging and complex whiskeys that are obviously complex.
Right.
If you're able to pick out fruitiness, for example, from a wall of smoke in a scotch or something like that, or in a really high-proof bourbon, quite frankly, if you can pick out individual notes, then you're really well equipped to go back to something that was before seemingly maybe a little sweet and simple, and find layers of complexity. And the Black Art...
You gotta start fresh, though.
The Black Art was a perfect example of...
Not a struggle.
No.
Not overly
a struggle,
smoky.
But it was so delicate, yet complex.
Yes.
Moment to moment.
You know what? It reminds me of like those really ornate hand-blown glass sculptures.
Right.
Super intricate, very fragile.
Right. Yeah. And specifically the one that we polished off. It was the 1991.
Yeah.
Because they do, from year to year, they change quite a bit.
Well, it's like the Octomore where you get different aged releases.
And they're leaning into this idea of terroir.
Yeah, well, that's where that whole real obsession started in Scotland. I mean, everyone's been doing it, but...
Right, and terroir, that's one of the things we explored when we were in Ireland.
In Waterford.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you remember Mark Rainier, who pioneered that at that distillery.
At Bruichladdich.
Was at Bruichladdich.
Yeah. So he went over to Waterford, and that's like their entire focus, the wheelhouse, is this idea of terroir in Ireland and chasing that down. And that episode, I'm going to link it up here.
I can't wait till we finally get some of
people.
their whiskeys.
Oh, the
They're
stuff.
ringing in on 5 years old now.
The stuff that we were tasting that isn't even released yet. It will be a meaningful player in the whiskey scene when they start putting bottles out there. What's the next one?
So here's the thing. The next one we didn't have, but we had something close.
Okay.
And so I knew you wanted to drink whiskey, so I brought it anyway. Does that seem fair? Will the judges accept a substitution?
I'll allow it.
Okay. So what got voted in was the 32-year-old Redbreast Dream Cask.
Oh, we've had this.
Yeah.
We finished
But
it.
it's gone. Yeah, Rex drank it all. So,
I wasn't the only one.
No, he was the only one.
No.
We had it in on saved.
And if I remember correctly, this was Demigod Leclerc.
Yeah, Leclerc helped you
Brad
polish that one off.
freaking Leclerc.
However,
and
we do have...
like so generous, pouring it for the other MBs that were in the room. That was a good time.
We do have the 20-year-old Dream Cask.
Right on.
The Pedro Jimenez edition.
Okay, so Pedro Jimenez, this is a sherry.
Most dark fruity of the sherries.
Right.
The sweetest of the sherries, too.
Right, so anyone paying attention should already know that
Ooh, yeah.
Redbreast is one of my, not only favorite Irish whiskeys, but one of my favorite whiskeys in general. And I think at home, one of the two whiskeys I own is the Redbreast 15 cask strength. It's almost gone.
Now, I will tell you, this may not be what you loved most about Redbreast.
Well, I was about to say, on the nose.
The Pedro Jimenez has taken it a super candy direction.
It really did. And what I usually get out of a Redbreast nose is just a rich, buttery, savory, shortbread nose.
Mixed with that almost praline or actual nut, actual pecan type thing.
And whatever the Pedro Jimenez did, it tamped down that buttery shortbread note.
Well, 20 years in a sherry cat. Dude, this tastes like sherry.
Just the nose really smells like sherry.
The taste is just like a higher proof sherry. That's bizarre. I mean, that's dessert.
Wow.
All day long, that's dessert.
So much dark fruit.
Yeah.
I've had...
And almonds. Wow. Candied almonds.
This is dried dark fruit. You know, they'll have like on a charcuterie board?
Yeah.
They'll have like some nuts and stuff with the sliced cured meats.
Ordering charcuterie boards?
I love the charcuterie board.
I was waiting for the voice. Yes! I was hoping you would... I was trying to cue up the voice, and it totally worked.
Excuse me, there's not nearly enough oog-doll on this charcuterie board. Okay. Honestly, I don't know if this did the Redbreast any favors.
No, I predicted this. The 15 cask strength, that's going to be right over home plate for Rex.
Yeah.
This is pretty.
It's lovely.
But it's dessert.
It's rich, but it's so...
It lost the nuance.
No, it did. It did. It's a sherry punch in the mouth. And then you say, thank you, sir, may I have another?
Number 3 and 2.
Are we already at number 3?
We do not have. Number 3, go throw a fit. Throw a hair fit. You have hair. Wait. Number 3 was Eagle Rare 17-year-old.
Okay.
As opposed to the classic 10.
So Eagle Rare is not hard to get your hands on necessarily for most people.
No.
So the 17, this is what makes it unique.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Now,
so it's just aged longer.
It's just aged longer.
Okay.
Do
we have
I have never had it.
Have we ever? Do we have eight?
I drank the last of it for the...
We don't even have the regular Eagle Rare?
No. I didn't realize it until we went to do this, but I drank the last of it for the Advent calendar.
What kind of 2-bit operation are we running here?
Yeah, it's like 1 3/4 bits.
Pretty generous, actually.
I've never had the 17. I don't know how it compares.
What we do know about you, this is why I'm very curious, along with the MBs who voted this up, very curious to see what it turns into, because even the regular release...
It's already so musty, grain, earth, and pepper.
Which it's not. It's bourbon, but it's not traditional bourbon flavor.
It's not brown sugar. It's not really sweet.
It's a fairly unique bourbon.
And 7 more years in a barrel. That's just going to make it even more wood and pepper. What do you think?
Probably not definitely. I don't know. 2020 Whiskey Goals. I would really love to try that. That sounds really interesting.
All right, so number 2 was George T. Stagg. Not Stagg Jr.
Right.
George T. Stagg.
George
the original.
T. Stagg. So we've
and
had Stagg
I
Jr.
searched before this video for other reasons.
Sure.
I can't find a single George T. Stagg in Austin.
What is it about Stagg that
it's another one
makes
of the,
it rare and sought after?
It's another one of the hard to gets. Remember, this is from the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection.
Okay.
Right.
So.
But the normal, not the Stagg Jr., but the normal Stagg is in theory roughly 15 years old.
Okay.
And it's crawling in at $1,000 a bottle. That's Pappy prices.
Right.
I can get a 23-year-old Pappy for $2,400.
So the Buffalo Trace is the distillery that's doing this.
They call it their antique collections.
So what's the relationship between Stagg?
Okay, think of it like this.
Jr.
Well, think of it like this.
Right.
It's the same as Basil Hayden, Booker's, Baker's, Knob Creek.
Okay.
Same distillery.
Yeah.
Sometimes different mash bills, right? Different ages.
Sure.
Different barrel parts of the warehouse, all selected for different profile.
Right.
These are all Buffalo Trace, but they've got all these other differences, and then they micro-release them under certain labels.
Okay. In the comments, any of these whiskeys that you saw, if you've had these before, what was your expectations?
And give us real tasting notes.
Yeah, tasting notes. What did you get from the nose and the palate there?
So when we are writing down tasting notes for blending and analyzing whiskey at the distillery, I always write down nose, palate, finish. So give us those in order: nose, palate, finish.
And it's a good opportunity to link to another video we did called "How to Taste and Describe Whiskey Like a Magnificent Bastard," just to take a step back and try and analyze what you're actually experiencing and describe it. So, number 1.
Right, bring the glass. Are you ready? Octomore Event Horizon.
Oh.
We just did an episode on it, and I think that's why it's so fresh in everyone's minds.
So
it's maybe the best Octomore I've ever had.
No, it's really exceptional. Yeah.
Pull that over here.
This is the thing with the stuff in the bottles.
2019 released
Octomore.
It's the most peated in the world.
So.
And typically, bacon brisket.
It's fun for me to have conversations with whiskey enthusiasts, whiskey nerds, and the ones that fancy themselves, Islay drinkers, the smoky Scotch drinkers. Right. They got the Lagavulin and the Freud, the Ardbeg, and most of the time, I think 9 out of 10 times, they'll say, "Well, have you had the Octomore?"
Mm-hmm.
And most of them have not.
Yeah.
And
it's hard to get.
About half of them have never even heard of Octomore.
Yeah, it's hard to get.
Even people that are into whiskey.
You know what's trippy on Ian? So Chrissy Martin is bourbon, a little dab of bourbon.
Yeah.
One of our sommeliers, also instructor at the level 2 whiskey school, class. She is a bourbon fanatic.
Got it.
She loves bourbon. Damn. And she legitimately doesn't like most Scotch. Like, when we did the level where she had to dive into Scotch for 36 whiskeys and 12 tastings, she was not okay.
Wow.
But she handled it, and she aced it. Now, you know what her favorite Scotch is? It's Octomore. I know! I can't figure it out. I think it's so smoky and so rich and meaty that it wraps around and comes full circle and stops being smoky whiskey and starts becoming something else entirely.
So the reason why I think Octomore is a special thing is because if you love smoky whiskey, this will take you there. The meat and the savoriness. And there's some Octomores that it becomes so intensely smoky that it turns into the strangest note. It's a funky cheese.
Funky cheese and or bacon wrapped fig.
But the Event Horizon.
12-year-old Octomore.
Okay. This is not funky cheese.
No, it's actually probably the most mild of the Octomores in the things that make Octomore in my brain.
But not giving up on nuance.
No, I'm
and
not.
complexity.
It's not, there's no lack of complexity and subtlety.
Right.
But it's not trying to kill you.
Suddenly had this memory from the Event Horizon, my very first sip. This reminded me of some of the character from the 1991 Black Art that we ran out of.
Yes.
So this has...
It's headed more in that direction of subtlety with a huge smoky layer.
Yeah. It
on
has
top
some
of
commonality there.
No, so the thing about Tom Waits is his voice is distinct and gravelly and harsh.
Yeah.
But on the songs that you know him for, they're lullabies. If you remove Tom Waits and you sing that same song, it's a children's lullaby. And so the beauty of Tom Waits is a melody of a children's lullaby, this beautiful piano, but sung with grit and heartbreak. And that's Event Horizon. It's this beautiful, almost Black Art subtle nuance and sweet and cherry, but then delivered through the smoke.
It does an amazing job of having some, I don't know, let me say the word delicate notes, taste, flavors in here, but it's wrapped in this no-holds-barred smokiness, but it's not a smoke that ever takes you so far past the threshold of
you don't cry uncle.
Yeah, you don't cry uncle. You just say, yes, that is what my oog-doll likes.
I'm going to take this away from you and your oog-doll.
Now, Daniel, there was an honorable mention.
Well, no, here's the thing. You know what won on the most honorable mention?
Now,
are they trolling us?
Well, hold on. It wasn't a tremendous number of people, but enough for it to be funny.
Yeah. Now, I will argue that this is a super underrated corn whiskey.
Yes.
4 years old.
Yeah.
It's a straight corn whiskey.
Right. And even whiskey...
It's 50%.
Whenever you put this in somebody's hands, blind.
Oh, you don't... Yeah, and it has to be blind because look at this bottle. It's like Big Bird shat out a whiskey bottle. Right? It's like a Sesame Street product.
Right.
But if you don't put the bottle in front of them and say, hey, I poured you...
So, surprisingly good, all things considered.
And only $2.75 a button.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would have so much mellow corn.
by the pallet.
So we had several people vote this up, and whiskey goals, y'all. I believe you can achieve anything you set your mind to.
I believe.
Right here. You can do it, you magnificent bastards.
Hey, John. Yeah. You want to try some Octomore Event Horizon?
Well, if I have to.
No, you don't.
Too late.
Ready.
All right.
Did he get more than me?
Yeah, he did.
You son of a bitch. Cheers, dude. Cheers. Have you had this before?
Actually, I stole some of...
Get out of here! Get out of here! He's the reason why we don't have half these whiskeys.
We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire.